Assalamu alaikum everyone. Welcome back to our webinar series, The Journey Within. I'm your host, Haya Fatimah. I'm a graduate of DHS Safa University and I did my bachelor's in electrical engineering in 2018. I have certified as a life coach since then, and I also write a blog. One of the main purposes of doing this webinar series is to give our audience a glimpse into the lives of our alumni and to see the incredible things they've achieved. And today we'll be joined by yet another incredible alumni who's pretty much done it all. He was the gold medalist of his batch. He did a very challenging FYP. And then now he's doing his master's in electrical engineering from Germany. We'll be talking all about his journey to Germany and how the process has been. So let's join Ali Rehan in Germany. Assalamu alaikum, Ali.
Walaikum salam. Yeah.
How are you?
I'm fine, alhamdulillah. How are you?
I'm doing good, alhamdulillah. So first of all, before I begin the interview and ask you questions, how is life in Germany during the corona pandemic?
Well, the life is on on hold for past few months, but the situation here is now getting pretty better.
Okay.
People are following laws and given by guidelines by WHO and everything. So yeah, situation is pretty much better now compared to for past 2-3 months.
Yes.
Yes. Sorry?
Are you still going to university, or is university not happening these days?
No, the university is conducting online classes and online lectures.
Okay.
No student is allowed to visit the university.
Okay. Sorry. And do you have lockdown ho raha hai bahir? Is the city functioning normally?
No, the city is functioning normally now. Previously,
Okay.
it was people were taking care of themselves, like they were not leaving house on their own. But now the thing is pretty, it's normal. But they're still taking precautions. You can't see anyone without mask outside, and it is, it's a public violation of law if you don't wear a mask in a closed space, like using public transport or malls. So it is fine. They fine you for 60 euros if they got you without mask. So
I think that's the only way to get people to wear masks. If you have a fine, the people will ensure to wear.
Actually, this is what led the Germany to decrease because as far as I have seen that the corona infected people crossed 150,000. So after that, now it's just active 6,000 cases. So the drop from that to this is just because the people, they cared about themselves and then they followed the law.
Yes. So what do you think is going to happen in the next few months? Do you think universities will open, or do you think this is going to go for a little bit?
I think this will gonna go for a little bit, maybe from the next semester, which starts from in October. And they can plan or they can discuss the actual classes and meetings, but up till then I don't think it is possible.
Yeah. So I was just talking about you. I introduced you and I said that you've done pretty much everything. Alhamdulillah, when you start university, one of the main goals for a student is to keep a good GPA. You're the gold medalist of your batch, and then you've done a very challenging FYP that we'll get to, and we'll discuss all the challenges you faced. Then you did your own. You started work here in Pakistan, and you started your own firm, and then you went on to do your master's. So that's a lot of things to cover, and inshallah we'll get to all of that.
Sure.
But let's start with university first, and let's talk about the fact that you were a gold medalist of your batch, and that means a lot of dedication on your part, and figuring out how to study the right way. So let's ask you and let's inquire about how was your studying pattern like? What did you do for anyone who might be struggling right now?
Well, I wasn't a bookworm first of all, but I took it everything very very simple. My basic idea was I was very sincere with two things: my lectures and my assignments. If you are sincere with these two, then there is no very hard when you come for the exams. Because if you are attentive in your lectures, and so you actually get the basic knowledge, and then you do your assignments on your own, which is very important. So you get into this habit, and then you can actually achieve good grades. This was my technique throughout the university, and so, I think this led me to good grades.
So did you start? Did you understand the semester system right from the beginning, or did it take you a little while to get used to it?
No, the first semester was like a trial semester, but then after that it was like fine. You go with the flow.
You go with the flow. Okay, so let's talk about your FIP. Okay, can you please tell us what your FIP was so that everyone knows?
Okay, my FIP was VTOL UAS. It means vertical takeoff and landing unmanned aerial system. It was a concept design. In simple layman terms, it was a plane which can take off like a helicopter and then fly like a plane. So this was my FIP, me and my group partner, Babati. We did this FIP. Yes, it was very challenging. We had lots of, trouble, failure during this 1 year. A lot of tension, obviously. But yeah, Alhamdulillah, in the end, we were able to achieve what we wanted to achieve.
How did you keep going, after rejections of the design or the design not working out? What kept you going? And first of all, tell me where did the idea come from? How did you know that you wanted to work on this?
Well, the idea was, to do something new, actually. And with, while I was in my university, the concept of drone was very much in common, like these days. So we had a thought like, why not go for something, similar to that, but different. So this was the basic idea. And what kept us going was basically dedication to give something new, and most importantly the motivation from our supervisor, like Sir Salman Zafar. He was one of the supervisors for my FIP, and he constantly motivated us for even when we had project failures, design failures, when nothing worked out. He used to explain us thing, and then he used to say, just do it, like you can do it. So it was the help from our supervisors and other faculty members was one of the reasons which kept us going throughout this year for our final year.
Did you have enough resources available at the university in terms of softwares and design, labs and everything that helped you in your project?
Yes, definitely. Otherwise, this would have not been possible because it took like a lot of dedicated equipments to build the structure, and then simulation tools, and to design it and can do the mathematical simulations, everything. So every resource was available in the DSU, which helped us a lot with my FIP.
So you did well in your grades, and you also did well on your FIP. You, I think, also went for an internship to AIMS Malaysia, if I'm not wrong.
Yes, I did.
From DHA so far.
Yeah, from DHA.
Let's talk about that, because I think a lot of students from DHA so far go to AIMS Malaysia for an internship, and it's a very interesting internship. So can you please tell us about that?
Yes, it was it was one of the life-turning moments, because you go outside of Pakistan and you see how things work outside Pakistan. Because to be really honest, every person in Pakistan has actually seen what's they are shown in the movies, but the reality is very different. When you go out and then you realize like, okay, this is what happens around the world, and this is what is happening in Pakistan, and how we can cope up with the things around the world. So doing an internship in Malaysia gave me a lot of research insights, like how to carry out your research and everything. So that was basically it. And yes, it gives also exposure to how to live abroad alone. So
and I think I think going out during your university allows you to aim higher. You know that is where you want to get to, or that is where you want to aim high, because and that is, I think, one of the reasons why students don't aim high is that they don't know what's out there, and until they know,
you need some motivation to go outside the box, basically. So that was actually one of the motivations which drive me to go for studies, carry on my studies from abroad.
So once you graduated, let's talk about, that is a very challenging time in any student's life, because you don't know what's out there. There's so many options. You can go for a job, you can go for your master's, or there's a lot of people are starting startups these days, because entrepreneurship ka काफी ज़्यादा scope है आजकल. So you did a job, you also started your own firm, and then you also went on to do your master's. So first of all, we'll talk about what you like best at the end, but tell us about your job, the job that you started right after university.
Like it was not, I didn't start my job right after university. It took me
Okay.
3 months to, to find the job,
Mm-hmm.
as it is with everyone.
Yeah.
So my job, I did a job in Telecard Limited. I was a network engineer there, and I was my duty was to oversee the incoming calls and their distributions around the network. So this was my basic work there. But I did learn a lot from that job. I did a lot learned a lot about networking from that job.
Yeah.
So, and it is now helping us in my current projects here. So it was a learning, a good learning.
So was it challenging, the shift from student life to work life? Were the was it hard for you?
It was hard at the start because I actually never had a corporate, a very corporate environment or inside of a corporate environment before. Although I did internships, but those were very different than the job I got. So it was hard at the start, but after that it became, normal. So it's
Mm.
about like it's always learning. If you learn fast, you can, survive at any environment. That was the
Yeah.
concept.
So was it around the same time that you decided to start your own firm as well?
No, actually, my mind was very clear to go for master since the start. So I was
Okay.
buying time till I get the admission for the masters. My
Mm-hmm.
job period and my firm period was included in buying a time to go abroad. So after it actually certain things happened due to which I have to leave my job, and after that I was free, so I had a chat with my uncle, and we both decided to have a family business of sorts so that we can work later, maybe a grounding for now. And then I started, utilizing that time to build our own farm, basically.
And your firm is called DC Electric, right?
Yeah, it is called
Um,
ECDC Electric.
and what's the basis and what do you guys do in that? What's the scope of
Well,
the
it's
firm?
as the slogan says, the power setters and the mentors. So it's
Okay.
basically related to the power equipments like LVMV compensation systems and everything. But it is not just limited to power. We have other solutions like renewable energies, installation of solar plants, solar freezers, and everything. So it's a whole, completely a package related with power side and also the electronic side.
Yes. And your specialization in university was electronic,
Yes,
right?
my specialization was electric. Yes, that was the
Okay.
main goal. My uncle, he's, very much expert in power side, and I'm,
Okay.
a beginner from the electronic side. So it's companies divided into two regions.
Oh, so best of both worlds, covering both aspects.
Yes.
So let's talk about, Germany. How did you come to that decision? First of all, I think anyone who wants to go out for a master's, there's certain options as compared to for engineering. A lot of people want to go to Germany. That we know about that. But did you have other countries in mind, and how did you decide on Germany?
Well, yes, I have other countries in mind, but the reason why I chose Germany was like here the universities are tuition free. Like you don't have to pay any tuition fee to the university. Compared to other countries, you have to pay, a good amount. Secondly, the quality of education throughout Germany in every university is standardized. Like there are obviously ranking, like there are top ranked universities and bottom ranked universities, but all the universities in the Germany are contribute to very good researchers. So you don't like, it's not a race of getting into a better university. If you get into a university which is not very known, then even though the quality of education you will get there is up to the mark to the level of the top ranked universities. So this was the
Okay.
main reason, why I go for Germany, because first it is tuition free, as I said. Secondly, the quality of education is very good, the research is very good, and the job market after completing your master, the demand for engineers are actually very high here in Germany.
Mm-hmm. So let's talk about the process first, because बहुत सारे लोग just looking at the process ही समझते हैं कि it's going to नहीं हो सकता. Yeah, it's a very daunting process. So can you please explain the application process for anyone who might want to apply for Germany?
Okay, the application process is not very, hectic or very daunting. It's very simple. First, you have to decide what you want to do for studies. Like, what do you want to specialize? What do you want to do masters in? Then the second step is you search for universities, and there are sites you can go visit, and you can see the universities which offers your desired courses or your desired things. And after that, there are two ways. You apply through a platform, or you apply directly through universities. It is clearly mentioned on the university website whether they accept direct applications or through some platform like UniAssist. So if you read that carefully, then each and every requirement is written on the university's website, like what they want. Basically, they will actually require two things: your grades, your IELTS sometimes, and if the courses are in German, they also require German language up till A2 or B1. But that is only if the courses are in German. If your studies are in English, you don't need to show them any German language at the start. So it's the gist of the whole process is just like this. So the main idea, first of all, where people I think lag is they are very confused where to go, how to search. So the main thing is you have to keep your mind clear, like what do you want to study? What do you want to pursue? If you know exactly what you want to pursue, then it is very easy to search universities.
Yes. Okay. So like having clarity on your field of study and then looking for, so would you decide a country before you decide your field of study, or you decide your field of study and then you look for countries offering those degrees?
It can work either ways.
Okay.
But if you can decide, if you decide a country first, then it is much easier. But if you decide a country later, then your minds get very distracted. Like, oh, I can go there, but the finance is this. If I decide a country first, I know my finance. Like here in Germany, no tuition fees, but although we have to pay a certain amount, which is part of a visa requirement, not a university requirement, and which is in return given back to you. They are not taking, giving it to universities. So this is the main thing for going to, if you decide a country first, you will get much more easier way to work.
So once you get to Germany, how is the shift like, and how is life like? And yeah, let's talk about that.
Well, the life here in Germany is very different from the life we usually spend in Pakistan, and obviously there are cultural differences, but the life here is very punctual, like very strictly punctual, and which is for us, which it is very hard to get used to of it. A bitter truth, but it is a truth. But it's easy going. Like if once you get adjusted, there is nothing difficult.
Okay, so tell me, take me through a day before this pandemic happened. How was your day like? When do you wake up and when do classes start? You were also working as a research assistant, right? So tell us about a day in Ali's life. What is it like?
Well, before the pandemic and when I have my courses, before the life is like the university start at 7:30, but you don't have to go at 7:30. You only have to go to university when you have your desired lectures, and it can be between 7:30 to up till 6 anytime. So you go, you pick your time slots, you pick your lectures, you go to university, you attend your lectures, and that is it with the university. And then it's up to you whatever you want to do. But for me, I generally have lectures in the morning. So when I have a 7:30 lecture, I used to wake up like around 6 in the morning, and then I have to walk all the way to the substation, S-Bahn station, and through to the university. I usually got back around 12, and then I have to cook and eat something, and after that I have to work on my research assistant project. And in the night, it's the same routine. You just want to relax and maybe watch a movie or something like that.
Okay, so how is getting used to all of this? Cooking for yourself, and it's a pretty independent life, a life a lot of Pakistanis aren't used to.
Yes, it is true.
So did you miss your family, and do you call your mother all the time, or do you call your family asking for how to cook dishes and stuff?
Well, obviously, in the start, it happens this way, and it
Yeah,
happens to everyone, And so, because it's like you have to do each and everything yourself, like from cleaning to washing your clothes to cooking, to even stitching your own,
yeah.
mending your own clothes. So,
And ironing every
yes,
day.
ironing every day.
Yeah,
It's a bit difficult in the start, and yes,
yeah,
obviously you miss your mother for that. You
yeah.
get all the predefined works in Pakistan, like you
True.
get your breakfast on table when you want to leave, you get your lunch when you come back home. So yeah, you really miss your parents, obviously, but
Yeah,
in the end, it's their prayers which keeps you going. So yeah,
yeah,
whenever but the thing is, people living alone usually get mind deterioration. They get homesick. It is very common, and the
mm-hmm.
best thing to do is to stay in touch with your parents, with your family, with your loved ones. And when you stay in touch, then you don't actually feel very distressed and everything.
Yeah. And have you found a social group and friends in Germany? Has that settled? Do you miss your friends in Pakistan?
Well, yes, here there are lots of social groups. Like there are student organization in Germany in every city where the university is. So
Yeah.
there are student associations and they are all connected throughout the Germany. And so we are all connected. We have certain events. We go there. We have gaming events. We spend Eid together. We have feasts around, and so this keeps on going. This helps students to just to get out of their daily routine and do something else, so that they don't get bored, they don't get to keep the excitement alive. This is very important. And
Yeah.
as far as friends in Pakistan are concerned, like yes, I always miss them, and we are all in touch basically. So
Yeah. So how do you think SOFA has helped you, get settled in Germany and your education in Germany?
Well, the SOFA has a very important role because as we have lots of foreign qualified teachers, and they, when we used to go and we attend the lecture, they actually show the gist of what they actually teach in outside world. So it was very helpful when I come back here. I was very afraid, like whether I will be able to blend into this education system, whether I will be able to get what my professor is trying to teach, because everyone has a different aspect. Every country has different ways of teaching. So, uh, when I was here, I didn't find it much difficult because of those teachers which were foreign qualified, and they know how things work abroad. So they actually gave us a lot about how things will be abroad. So yes,
Yeah.
in this way, so far it actually helped me a lot in blending in this environment.
One thing I'm interested in asking you is, in your master's degree, how many women to men ratio is there? Is it very similar to what many universities in Pakistan have in engineering department, where women are still not joining these engineering fields? What's it like in Germany?
Well, there is this the ratio is not obviously as much as in Pakistan, like that's what I have seen. The ratio is a bit little less, but they are, joining engineering colleges and universities. And if you go up like in bigger universities in bigger states like Munich and Stuttgart, there the ratio is very high. So yes, the women they actually come back here. We have a lot of, not a lot of, there are a few Pakistani women who are here doing their master's degree in my
Oh
state.
wow.
So yes, they are here. They are doing their job. There is
Yeah.
nothing, very hard about for the women to come here and live a life. It's a very peaceful life and it's a very secure life. Actually, parents they think like abroad people will like get exploited. Their children will get exploited. So it is not that easy to get
Mm-hmm.
exploited. First of all, it depends upon your upbringing, obviously, and secondly,
Yes.
if you want to stay secure, you will stay secure. Nobody can harm you.
Yes. So it's an equal opportunity for men and women
Yes,
alike,
exactly.
and
Yeah.
anyone who wants to go up for a master's can.
Yes.
Okay, so what's next for you? What are you planning for? So I'll tell the audience you're writing your thesis right now. Can you please first tell us what your thesis is on?
Well, I cannot go into the much details, but to give you an overview, it's related to clock synchronization. It's I'm working on different protocols for clock synchronization, so that is my thesis I'm working right now.
And when is your submission? When are you due to submit this?
I'm due to submit it by the end of September.
Okay. And so this is your degree is finishing now, right? Your master's degree.
Yes.
And so what's next? What's next for you?
Well, what's next for me is obviously job. I will look for job, but my ultimate goal is to, go for PhD.
Okay.
So yeah, in this, but I don't want to jump into PhD right away. I want to gain certain industry experience, then I will move on to PhD, inshallah.
Let's talk about Germany as a place to work, because there's people go to Germany to study, but there's also a very big industries there. So let's talk about that. And what do you think, for anyone watching, what industry options are there for people to come and work in Germany?
There are a lot of there are variable options for people who want to come and work here in Germany, especially in engineering. There are a lot of fields. There are a lot of research going on. Not research only university based. Even the companies, they do a lot of research. So yes, the engineering demand for engineers in Germany is a bit high right now. But in this pandemic situation, obviously, it is very messed up. But before that, there was a good demand for engineers here in university, here in Germany, and like for all, even for other occupations, like if you want to pursue here as an accountant or as a manager, you are also invited here. And if even doctors, they are also taking doctors. But the major difference between engineering and other field is like they demand high German skills.
Okay.
Yes, if you are a manager and everything, then you should have a good command on German language before you jump into their industry. It is very important. And but for engineers, they are very flexible because they don't have to communicate a lot with a lot of people. That is why they only have to communicate with an inside. So they actually, get a very standard German speaking people, or only a English speaking person can also work here as an engineer. What I have observed up to now.
Okay.
So yeah.
So what would be your advice for anyone who wants to, either go abroad for the education or, work in a place like Germany? What is something that they should be focusing on? What skills should they be, developing? And
Well, what I have seen is you need to have certain skills before you want to come to, go abroad and do your work. So what I feel, it is better to, study abroad first and then jump into your, business or work abroad. Like if you directly jump from Pakistan for just working, it's very hard. It is very difficult to get. Although if you have a very good experience, like for around 10 to 15 years, then maybe it's all right. But for starters, like for beginners like us, it's very important that first we get educated here, we get used to of their skills, their mindset of working, and then jump into the job industry. It is basically an easy path.
So you get used to the life here and then you start working. Rather than just starting work and then trying to figure out how to get settled in a new culture. So Ali, we've covered a lot of things, and like I said, you've done pretty much everything. What's the secret to your success first, and what is your mindset when you start anything new? Because please go ahead.
Well, the secret is very simple. It is the blessing of Allah Almighty on me, and secondly, it's the prayers and supporting of my parents, especially my grandmother. For their support and their prayers are always with me. So that is the key to success. And what I have in mindset is like I set my goal, and then I strive to complete it. I do not get there are things which you demotivate you and everything, but I usually keep my goal in my mind and I keep doing my work. So this is my it's a way to achieve my goal.
Well, I think one of the biggest lessons that we can learn from you is that to aim high. And, you know,
Exactly.
once you've aimed high, you should keep that as your goal and keep working hard. And, you can achieve anything. And that
Exactly.
is something that we should, as Pakistanis, also remember, because we sometimes shy away from dreaming too big.
Yes.
And we shouldn't do that. So thank you so much, Ali, for joining us today. And, we're very proud of you and, all of the things that you've achieved. And good luck for your thesis. I hope it goes very well. So thank you very much.
Thank you.
Allah Hafiz.
Allah Hafiz.